Respect. Now your genuine love page. I hope your day's coming along well so far. Today we'll be talking about how I cured myself from sickle cell anemia. Tune in. So my journey started a couple of years ago. When I realized my body started feeling a lot more different than normal. And when a person deals with chronic pains and then things start to transpire in their life, their body starts to adjust differently as time progresses. So as time was progressing, I started seeing that my day-to-day activities started to even move a little bit more differently than the norm. And when you're one of those type of people who, regardless to what you're going through, you don't make excuses. You just try to still show up for yourself in the best way that you can. Like, just going to the store or just trying to go pay your bill or just trying to work on your own pace, And I was doing that. But one day I went to the doctor and the doctor was looking at me, and they made me feel very uncomfortable, They were basically saying to me is if I don't get the proper help that I need, and he went a little bit over his job description, and he basically was telling me that the levels of my iron deficiency was very low. It was at a standstill at a 2. He said, I don't understand how you're even walking or how we even having a conversation right now if there's hardly no oxygen going to your brain. And he said, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, if you continue to walk like this without getting the right proper treatment, you can pass away. But in the process of him saying that, before he said that to me, I'm moving a little bit too fast. He said it to me twice. The first time he said it to me, he called my phone and left me a voicemail on my phone and told me to call him urgent. So I called him back because I missed the call. And he informed me, he said, I got your lab works back, and he said, it's not looking too good. He said, you need to go to your nearest emergency room, and you need to let them know that this is your levels, and this is my information for your doctor, and if they need to speak to me, let them know. But he said, yo, if you continue to move around the way you're moving around in the next 42 hours or whatever the case may be, 48 hours or whatever, you're not going to make it. What? I ain't paying this man no mind because I'm feeling normal. I'm feeling so normal. I'm feeling fine. Like, I don't feel nothing is wrong with me, I don't feel nothing is wrong with me. I don't feel lightheaded. I don't feel dizzy. I don't feel sick. I don't feel nothing. I'm not feeling any of the emotions that I'm supposed to feel right now if I don't have enough oxygen going to my brain at this time. So he says it again to me. And when he said it again to me the second time, I said, you know what? I got to reevaluate my thought process and get a new doctor. That's what I said to myself because I didn't feel comfortable with this doctor anymore. First of all, you're doing a little bit too much. You're telling me I'm about to die over the phone. Like, ma'am, sir, make it make sense. Like, hello, you're not even supposed to do that over the phone. Like, for real? Leaving me voicemails on my phone telling me you wishing this on my life. Like, you wishing this on me. Like, I just felt like the devil called me personally and said, you know what? I'm taking you out right now. Because I'm still standing here today. Hello. So, I started doing my little research, looking for a new primary care doctor. I had a male doctor, and I said, you know what? I want to do something different. I want to deal with a female doctor, and not only deal with a female doctor, but I want to deal with a female doctor who knows what she's talking about. At this point in time, I didn't care about the culture because I'm not racist, and I wanted to see if I can find somebody who was genuinely willing to understand what I was going through at the time. Because I had a whole bunch of shit going on at one time. Respectfully. Like, when you got body aches, you got body aches. Your body aches gonna be your body aches. That's just, let's put it like that. Yeah. When you deal with body aches on top of stuff, on top of other stuff, on top of stuff, it's like, it just piles up on top of stuff, And it makes your situation more worth to move forward. But I was determined, and I prayed on it, and I asked God to guide me the right way. And who did I meet? Who did I meet? Yeah, I met your ass. You know, sweet lady, very sweet lady. Yo, when I say when we first met each other, I swear we did not see eye to eye at all. Oh my God. No, she didn't want to hear nothing I had to say. Nothing. She didn't want to hear me. She said to me, listen, I'm trying to help you, okay? And I'm like, I hear you, but you're not helping me, help me. Well, I'm trying to tell you how I'm feeling right now, ma'am. She like, all right, I'm going to do your lab work or whatever the case may be. So she did my lab work. She looked at me. We looking at each other now. She like, hold on. Oh, you got to go to the hospital now. I got to go to the hospital. She said, yes, you do. She said, either you don't go to the hospital or I can send you to a specialist, a hematologist, to get IVs, iron injections, so you can start your treatment or whatever. I said, is there another way? She said, no. She said, the iron pills is going to take a long time for it to level up, and you need it now. Like, you need it right now. So when I met her a few times, but prior to meeting her, I was explaining to her how I felt at the place before coming to her. And I said I had an experience doing the IV iron deficiency, the iron injections or whatever. And I said the place that I was originally going to, I didn't feel comfortable. Not only that I didn't feel comfortable going to the environment that I was going to, I didn't feel comfortable knowing that I had to put these IVs in my arms and I had to rely on these IVs to make me feel better. And when I got out that chair, I felt sick. And I was deteriorating. Respectfully, I was deteriorating. And why I said I was deteriorating, because, you know, they say that your skin looks a lot more different when you're sick. Understandable. But this was a different type of me feeling sick, though. And it wasn't showing. But I felt it, if it makes any sense. So I explained to her the symptoms that I was feeling, how I was experiencing when I went to this place. And she said, you're in good hands. Don't worry about it. That was your experience. You're in the right hands now, you know. But I got to know you. I got to know who you are. Like, that was her main concern, was we got to get to the bottom of who you are. And I tried to explain to her who I was, and we went through that like a couple of times. Like, every time I turned around, we was just kept going through the same thing over and over again, same conversation. I'm like, ma'am, I don't know what you want me to say differently. At the end of the day, when it comes to my health and my body, I'm trying to pay attention to how I'm feeling. But ma'am, I'm telling you, the iron injections is a rejection to my body. Everything is not for everybody's body, and I say that respectfully, no disrespect. And she said, you know what, I totally understand where you're coming from. So she gave me a referral, and I went to the hematologist. Nice young man. And I met him. In the process of me meeting this young man, I explained to him that I didn't want to rely on iron injections for the rest of my life. You know, and I explained to him, what is it that I can do to better myself so I don't have to rely on it. He said, well, you got to come get iron injection, ma'am. Okay. He said, until your levels get up on its own and you're able to stabilize it, taking the iron pills and all this stuff. And I kept saying to them, like, I don't want to take no medications. I don't want my body to rely on medications if the medications is rejecting. My body's rejecting the medications. You know, body's not the same. And I'm one of those type of people who pay attention to their body. It's rejecting it for a reason. So I did the iron injections probably twice. I went there twice. The first 2 times when I went, from the first time to the second time, the levels went up, but it didn't go up dramatically. Like, it didn't go up too high or whatever. It probably went to a standstill. Probably went from a 2 to probably like a 7 or a 6. I stopped going because I'm saying to myself don't nobody do nothing for me. Don't nobody help me. And I got to make sure I'm good for myself at the end of the day. Because when I'm sick, I'm sick. and I have to rely on myself, and I have to figure out what is best for my body right now so I can be able to show up for myself, you know, in a healthy way. So I started doing remedies on my own, and I started just playing with stuff. And maybe a year later, I don't know why, but something said, I woke up one day and said, self, a year later, I said, self, this was me even going back, before I even went back to my primary care physician. I had made an appointment with her too, but she was so booked. The appointment already came and went for the hematologist. I went there, and he said to me, you came here now for 2-3 times already. He said from the last visit to this visit, he said, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or nothing to you. You know, you seem like you're a decent person. You seem like you're a really decent person, and I could tell that because how you carry yourself, right? And you want to do better for yourself, and you're still young. Not a lot of young people your age are content how you're content right now. And I said, I love myself, sir, and I take care of myself. Don't nobody do nothing for me. Like, I don't have the family extra strength hand to lean out to somebody and be like, you know, I'm down today and I need help. I don't have that. You know, when a person doesn't have that support, that genuine, authentic support at the end of the day, and I'm not being disrespectful in no shape or form, but I'm being transparent, and all I gotta do is tell my truth at the end of the day. You can't rely on people. You know, you can't rely on somebody to show up for you, and you reaching out to them and they telling you they can't help you at the end of the day. You know, just for them just to show up at a doctor's appointment, or you doing too much. I can't just come and just be there for you. You know, like, you know how that go with how people move at the end of the day, regardless of what family member it is. Like, people got their own lives and people got their own problems within in themselves, and if they got something against you, they gonna make it a problem at the end of the day. Like, no, I'm not showing up for you, and that's just that, and I don't care. Type of energy, like, okay, have a nice life, and I won't mention nothing about my health to you. It's just that simple. So, he understood that I didn't have that support, you know, and I didn't want to rely on a service to help me, you know, because I already saw how these people move when it comes to having nurses in your homes and stuff like that. They mad disrespectful, discrediting you as a person because you're going through a temporary situation, like stuff like that. It's very disturbing, you know. And he says to me, he's like, look, I don't know what you doing. He said, whatever you doing, keep doing it. Keep doing it, because from the last time you was here to now, and you have not gotten iron injection from nobody, he said your levels is going up. Your levels are going up. Like, your levels are going up. And it's stable. And I'm saying to myself is, I know my body. Like, I didn't want my body to rely on something that's draining my energy, that's draining me mentally, because that's what it was doing. It was draining me. And when I got the proper information that I needed to know when it came down to what is the traits of why I have what I have when it comes to sickle cell anemia, come to find out, it wasn't being treated for a very long time. And I didn't know that. And being that it wasn't being treated, time was progressing. But as time was progressing, it was only God that was holding me above water. Because at the end of the day, if you have sickle cell anemia and your levels is at a 2 or a 1 standstill, like, that's not good at all. Like, I had so many people looking at me like, how the hell are we having this conversation? How? You supposed to be comatose, it's out of here. It's only God. It's not me. It's not my time to go yet. It's not my time to go. It's not. And I was a firm believer in that. You know, a power of a prayer, and no disrespect to nobody at the end of the day. I didn't disrespect nobody in no shape or form. But the power of a prayer will allow you to see life a lot more differently. And especially when you're asking for all the answers to be appear right in front of you. You know? And I say that very respectfully, because it was a time in my life where I felt like my back was against the wall and I didn't know how to figure this shit out. I really did not know how to figure it out. But I knew I was determined to figure it out. And I had to put myself first, because at the end of the day, regardless if somebody's living or not, ain't nobody around, I still got to show up for myself in a healthy way. Regardless, I still got to show up for myself. And I was determined to show up for myself. And I didn't care how nobody felt in the process of me choosing me, the best self vision of myself. Respectfully. So within that process, I had that conversation with him. So I had a follow-up with my primary care physician. And I explained to her, well, she got the notes already as far as everything, and she did her testing over as well to see what the levels was, because it was like, I think it was like probably like a month difference or something. And she just looked at me and I looked at her, and she looked at me and I looked at her. She said, "Can I give you a hug?" She said, "Oh my God, I love you." She said, "You know what? I don't see too many young people your age that care so much about their life. I don't see too many young people your age that take their life as serious as you taking your life right now. I don't see too many young people your age that want to show up for themselves in a healthy way. I don't see too many young people your age that's willing to pay attention to their body, and when they know something is wrong, not wait till the last minute to find out, okay, well, I need to go to the hospital and it's too late." She said, "You know, a lot of the young people," and she said some older people as well too, "are embarrassed, or, you know, they feel like it's against their religion to go to the doctor. But for certain things, when it comes to blood levels and stuff," she said to me, she said, that's important. Just to know what's going on when it comes to your blood levels. You know? When it comes to that, it's very important to know. And especially when something is bothering you. So at the end of the day, you can find out what the problem is automatically. Your right side not feeling well. Okay, come to the doctor. Let's do some blood work. Not understanding why the right side is bothering you at the end of the day, but it's bothering you. But you ignoring it, you ignoring it, you ignoring it. She said people ignore stuff like that, and it could be something very severe. You know? And that's just to say, at the end of the day, never judge a book by its cover, respectfully. Never judge a book by its cover. And I'm very so much thankful to be able to stand before myself today, because it could have been a lot different. And it allowed me to see life a lot more differently today as well too, because going through what I was going through till today, I really didn't have nobody to count on. It was not genuine. Anybody that was around me, or I thought that was around me at the end of the day, ain't shit about them was genuine. If they couldn't disrespect me, if they couldn't use me, if they couldn't manipulate me, if they couldn't try to psych me out my thought process at the end of the day, I wasn't beneficial to them. I wasn't beneficial to them. So when I reevaluated myself, you know, they had so much to say about me, as to, I think I'm better than somebody, I'm acting bougie and all this, I'm funny and all that, acting funny and all that, because at the end of the day, I chose myself. I chose to love myself a little bit more differently. It was unhealthy how I was showing up for myself, when I was showing up in a good way, but at the same time too, I was allowing people to play in my face a little bit too long than I thought. So when you say that you got support at the end of the day, all support ain't good support at the end of the day. Just like I was in the hospital several times. I reached out to folks, they was like, "Oh, well, I'll come down to the hospital." Never showed up. A stranger in the street showed up. Don't even know this person from a hole in the wall, respectfully. Don't even know this person from a hole in the wall, but they showed up. They bought me food, they made sure I was good. But just like that, how a stranger in the street will be there quicker than somebody that been around you for a minute. And then when you don't jump when they say jump, at the end of the day, like, it's a problem, you know. So this is just go to say, at the end of the day, regardless if you have folks in your life, you have good genuine people in your life, or if you don't have good genuine people in your life at the end of the day, you still got to show up for yourself. And I say that respectfully. You know, you still got to show up for yourself regardless. And that was the main thing that I was concerned about, was my health. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to blood pressure, whatever it was, like I didn't play with it. I didn't allow anybody to affect me in no type of circumstances at the end of the day to trigger my blood pressure. And I wasn't going to allow somebody to trigger my blood pressure either. And you shouldn't allow anybody to trigger your blood pressure either, especially when they're trying to bring negative energy towards you. And that's not the energy that you're putting into the universe, respectfully. So it's always good to monitor your blood pressure at all times. It's always good to monitor your blood pressure. And it's always good to be mindful the company you keep when dealing with blood pressure. High blood pressure, when you're dealing with high advanced blood pressure numbers at the end of the day, you need to be mindful as to who you allow to preserve your energy, because a trigger is a trigger. And I'm going to say this too. You don't got to know somebody. Somebody could just say hi to you and your blood pressure is triggered. So you have to be calm within your calmness. If you know, you know. You know, they say how a toxic soul would drain your energy and allow your blood pressure to be triggered. Nah, it don't matter. You could be happy and your blood pressure gets triggered. You could be depressed, uncomfortable within yourself, and your blood pressure gets triggered. Somebody could curse you out and you ain't even gotta acknowledge them, but just their energy alone itself is a trigger. Energy is a trigger. Hearing a noise can cause your blood pressure to go high. Any noise. And I say that respectfully. You would be so surprised. So we can't just blame this person and that person for why your blood pressure is high. Or your blood pressure is high because you put that food in your body. It's a lot of things that can cause your blood pressure to be high at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. No disrespect. But this is the moral of the story at the end of the day. Never allow somebody to suck you out of your thought process at the end of the day when you're willing to choose your best self vision to show up in a healthy way. It's okay to outgrow the old people that didn't bring no good means to your life. It's okay to outgrow the old. It's okay in a healthy way. Especially if you feel like they draining your energy and you're not elevating. But at the end of the day, you only got to blame yourself for allowing yourself to sit there. Respectfully. The same way you can show up for somebody, why they can't show up for you. If you pour into somebody's cup and they ain't pouring back into your cup, not like you looking for anything in return, but it's called respect at the end of the day. Especially when it ain't got nothing to do about finance. Especially when it ain't got nothing to do about unnecessary bullcrap, but just acknowledging a person. You know, just acknowledging someone. It's called respect. If it's one-sided and the energy is not reciprocated on the same level, it's not for you. Respectfully. I'll be talking more about how I cured myself in another video. That will be an update video from this video. Today's what? March 26, 2023? Yeah. You know, when you show up to love yourself in a healthy way with no malicious intentions towards anyone, and you're really in tune with yourself, that energy hit different. It's a type of energy that another human being would never be able to understand because they're not in tune with their body. And that person would deadass disrespect you because you're so in tune with yourself. It's true, because misery loves company. When somebody is not in tune with themselves and they see someone in tune with themselves, they take that energy and turn it to animosity. But at the end of the day, never allow somebody to suck you out of your thought process because they're miserable. Never allow somebody to suck you out of their thought process because at the end of the... Never allow somebody to suck you out of your thought process Never allow somebody to psych you out of your freedom because they're miserable. Never allow somebody to allow you to feel like your life is not worthy because they're miserable. Your life matters 365 days with no malicious intentions towards anyone. You are genuinely loved by all the right people. You are genuinely respected by all the right people. And you deserve to be treated with respect 365 days with no malicious intentions towards anyone. Respect. You are worthy. And it's very important to pay attention to your body. And it's very important to bring awareness to, at the end of the day, like, I love myself. And it's not a crime to love yourself. It's not a crime at all. It's not a crime to honor yourself in a healthy way, to, nurture your body in a healthy way, to say, you know what? It's okay to outgrow the old mindset. Whatever was installed within me, that's not healthy. It's not healthy. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. You are genuinely loved by all the right people. You are genuinely respected by all the right people. You deserve to be treated with respect 365 days. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. Now you genuine love, respect.